This is your market recap for March 17th, 2025. Today we played bearish once again after having a discount opening and a sell side wick on the daily. It looks to be, at least for now, like we're going to come down and use this as an inverse, but we'll get back to that at the end of this. So on the hourly, you can see overnight we played bearish a little bit, didn't take out this low. Played completely bullish after that, taking out this high, huge rejection off of it, right? We closed all the way back down here. And then we retraced down to this hourly, and then lunch started the big move for the day. And well, technically lunch consolidated, and then the algorithm around 1:30 when the algorithm kicks back in is when it started to spool again, taking out this high, which I'm sure is important on a 15-minute time frame, but on the hourly it's just minor internal. Once again, swept it, immediately came back off of it to start the retrace for, well, to close. The 15-minute, there's really not much. I mean, this is a 15-minute we closed in. You can still see the sweep in the retrace. You can see how, I don't want to call it, well, I'll call it messy. You can see how messy this, well, really the entirety of AM session, 9:45 to 12:45 was all kind of messy before we, got this big boost of energy playing bullish. Now on the 5-minute time frame, it's kind of the same. We had a 5-minute fair value gap that price reacted off of straight off market open, took us up above these highs and immediately came down below them, consolidated, dragging our way back down to this hourly where we hit concentric encroachment, the low, concentric encroachment 2 more times. There's a tiny 5-minute right there. Let me get rid of this one for now. Tiny 5-minute within there. If you extend that across, it hits once, twice, three times, and then starts playing bullish, retraces for this macro, and then starts the move there. Now in the 1 minute, we have a little more AM session. We have, what I was looking to enter was longs from here because, in my opinion, London session was playing bearish, so we should, or bearish and then switch to bullish. So we should be looking to continue that move. However, with how, at this point up here, how extended we are, I needed some sort of retrace, and we got that. So I was happy playing bullish from there, and we had an SMT on these lows. And since this low is lower and I'm playing bullish, I went over to ES, and on the 15-second chart, there was a fair value gap, never got filled. There was an order block. But I'm not entirely sure if that was before or after a change in the state of delivery. So no trades ended up being taken today, but I did expect them to come up here, definitely take out, hold up, this high, and then from there, you can see that high is a little more important now, but probably would have just targeted that high. If I'm being honest, 15-minute time frame, sorry, 15-second targeting there, that's roughly 100 handles. That's good enough. And then we came up here a little early for the macro, but I saw us losing juice. Here we had an SMT on these highs, so ES made a higher high, and then we dove down to this one, to this gap right here. ES was playing considerably higher, which is why we retraced so low, is because ES had to retrace to equilibrium, which means that price had to decline for a longer period of time for both of them. And then once again, we came up off of this fair value gap here, had another SMT with this high and this high, which caused us to go down again. During the macro, we came up and then down again, tapped the top of this hourly, middle of the hourly, bottom of the hourly, and everything below this was technically an SMT. I could see myself very well trying to enter here for this macro, playing bullish. Um, well, that's one if I traded that, and two if I liked what I was seeing in price action, which I didn't. To be fair with you, while this looks messy, I might not have seen a change in the state of delivery. But either way, we ended up starting the bullish move or stopping the bearish move once we hit lunch, right? So in my opinion, the majority of AM session was bearish, right? So lunch, what do we target? We target what had been profitable, which is shorts. So we target their sell stops or buy stops. So this high and that high, and then all these, which would have hit. So SMT of these lows, again, too high time frame for me to like taking anything there. I'd need a lower time frame one. Get one here. We have an inverse fair value gap here, rejected here, which confirms it. And then we kind of just keep bouncing up. Look at the closures here, playing that perfectly. Get an SMT of these lows, an expansion, retrace during the macro, playing this 1 minute here. In the macro, I'm sure if we go to a 15-second, we can see a nice change in the state of delivery here, and then a fair value gap before taking off there. Get another fair value gap there, and so if we target these highs from this retrace, we'd hit all of those, targeting these highs there. 130 algorithm kicks back in, which is why we retrace here, taking out this internal sell side liquidity before continuing to move bullish. And why would we continue it bullish? Is because higher time frame, because of what London did, and as well as a 4-hour SMT of the lows that caused us to reverse, and a discount opening for the week. We marched all the way up to this high once again. And in my opinion, that's kind of the goal for the day. So we get up there, very immediately lose momentum. 3 o'clock, last hour of trading, we're going to target untouched liquidity. We just made new highs. So during this macro, we're going to be looking to target these resting lows throughout here. And we end up doing that, settling at roughly constant encroachment, or sorry, equilibrium of this entire bullish expansion. That's something that I've been realizing recently, is that the market close and the last hour of trading seek of untouched liquidity usually ends at 50% of the most recent move, right? So in this case, it's a bullish move. Whether that's something actual or something that happened today, I don't know, but I'll keep an eye out for it. Now going back to higher time frames to look for the future, we see this daily here, like I mentioned at the beginning, get rejected off of here, validating it. We closed above it today, so my guess is we're coming down now, filling in it, maybe going to hit constant encroachment, so roughly here. And then tomorrow we're going to play bullish as well. We're in this hourly. We could go lower than it, but I realistically don't see anywhere else to go from there. So from there, I just look for highs. We got resting highs up here, relative equal highs up here. I mean, we got a ton of highs from the most recent drop. So, yeah, something else that could happen is we're playing bullish today, maybe tomorrow, so that, as a retrace, because if we go again on the daily time frame, this huge move here, right, from 22,500 to 19,300, that's a lot, right? But either way, I'd like to play bullish until at least equilibrium there. At least. If we go on the weekly time frame, equilibrium was around here. We have a fair value gap up there. This one's a little too low, but weekly fair value gap up here we could aim for. But either way, I'd like to play bullish for the foreseeable future until market tells us otherwise. We're not going to pick a high. We're not going to pick a low. Market told us here, for example, that it was reversing with this 4-hour SMT, and I believe it will do so in the future if it were to reverse once again. So this has been your market recap for March 17th, 2025.